I found an old camera. What was on the film shouldn't exist. My name is David, I'm 31, and until recently I considered myself a perfectly normal person. I lived alone in a 2-room apartment, worked as an IT specialist, had a few friends and colleagues, and almost completely avoided anything supernatural. I didn't watch horror movies, didn't read scary stories. I believed in the rational, logical, and explainable. But all of that broke the day I bought the old camera. It was at a local flea market, something like a Sunday fair of old things. I was looking for something to decorate the empty shelves in my living room. Maybe an old film camera or a vintage tape recorder. I always liked the atmosphere of such things, as if they held some story inside. I stumbled upon a stall selling various antique knickknacks, cameras, cassette players, faded postcards, even old keys. Among everything, I saw a Canon AE-1, a classic film camera that was very popular back in the 70s. It looked okay, a little scratched, but the lens was intact and the mechanisms worked. "How much?" I asked the seller, an old man with droopy eyes. $20, he answered without looking at me. "Is there film inside?" I asked, more out of curiosity than necessity. "There is, but I wouldn't recommend developing it." "Why not?" He sighed. "They found the camera in a motel. The owner disappeared, the room was locked for more than a year. Then someone broke in, found the belongings including this camera. The film was inside." I smiled. The seller was clearly trying to make the story more interesting, as usual with these kinds of things. I handed over the 20. "I'll take the risk." I didn't develop the film immediately. At first, the camera just sat on the shelf. But one evening when I got bored, I decided to see what was on it. I took it to a small photo studio downtown. The guy at reception, about 25, thin, with a tattoo of film on his arm, accepted it without much enthusiasm. "See you in a couple of days," he said. 2 days later, they called me. "Mr. David, this is from the photo studio. We developed the film, but you better come in person." "Is something wrong?" "Just better come." I came the next day. The same guy was pale as chalk. He handed me the envelope. "We made copies but didn't scan them. And if I were you, I'd just throw them away." I didn't reply. Took the envelope and left. At home, I opened it. Inside were photos, black and white, a bit blurry, grainy. The first photo, the door to the motel room. The second, the bed, rumpled sheets. The third, in a shadow in the mirror. The fourth. I froze. In the photo was a person, or something resembling a person, standing in the corner of the room. Its face was completely white, as if erased. The eyes were like 2 black holes. In the next photo, the creature was closer. Closer still, the last photo, its face pressed against the lens. But the camera still couldn't capture it clearly. It was smeared, distorted, as if someone tried to erase it from reality, but not completely. I set the photos aside. The room got cold. I don't know why, but it felt like someone was watching me. I stood up, walked around the apartment, checked all doors, windows, even closets. Nothing. But the feeling didn't go away. I decided to scan the photos, connected the scanner, but as soon as I uploaded the first photo to the computer, the image flickered and disappeared. I tried again. Same thing. They disappeared immediately after opening. Later, the whole folder vanished, without a trace. No logs, no cache, as if it never existed. At night, I heard clicking, barely audible but clear, click, click, like a camera shutter. I got up. The room was dark. I took out my phone, opened the camera. Nothing. But when I checked the gallery again, a new photo appeared. I was asleep, and something stood beside my bed. The same creature, nearby. I could make out its outline. It was thin, tall, almost touching the ceiling. Its face was even more blurred, as if it was trying to focus but couldn't. I deleted the photo, but in the morning it was back. Now there were 2, the second in my bathroom. I didn't take these photos. I thought I was going crazy. Went to a psychiatrist. Dr. Green, a kind man with gray at his temples, saw me. I told him everything. He listened, nodded, took notes. This could be a symptom of depersonalization or hypnagogic state. Stress, insomnia, you work in IT? Common. These aren't hallucinations, I said. It's real. Everything we perceive is real to us, he replied. I sent him the photos, right from my phone. He opened them. His smile vanished. Did you take these photos? No, they appeared on their own. He leaned closer to the screen. I saw something similar once, long ago. One patient. He also found an old roll. And what happened to him? The doctor was silent. He lost himself. What do you mean? He started talking about a doppelganger, that he sees himself, but it's not him, that his body is being copied. He disappeared 2 weeks after the last session. Disappeared? The police found no trace, but in his apartment was a camera and a photo, the same one you just showed me. I didn't sleep for 3 nights. Every time I fell asleep, I heard the clicking, and every time new photos appeared, they became clearer. The creature had the outlines of my face, but distorted, like a copy made with errors. The eyes, too big. The mouth shifted. I burned the camera on the balcony, just threw it into a metal bucket and set it on fire. It burned with a strange sound, like cackling or whispering. I stood and watched until only ashes remained, but nothing ended. The next night I woke up, and all the walls in my room were covered with photos, hundreds of me in different poses, sleeping, in the shower, at the computer, but from different angles, as if someone had moved around the apartment and taken pictures. And I heard nothing. I ran out of the apartment, just at night, barefoot in a t-shirt and pants. Neighbors thought I was being robbed, but I couldn't explain. I was shaking. I went back to that motel, Golden Pines, abandoned, wooden, collapsing. Room number 6. The door was open. Inside, I can't explain. Time had stopped. Dust in the air stood like fog. The mirror in the corner was broken, but it reflected fully. Even more. I saw myself in it. But it wasn't me. I mean, outside, I was me, but the one in the mirror smiled, and I didn't. It blinked when I didn't, and came closer, though I was standing still. And the clicking. Behind me, I turned. No one. But in the mirror, another me, and another. They were closing in. I ran out, screaming, ran to the car, drove without looking back. Part 2. I don't remember how I got home. It was around 3 in the morning when I entered the apartment. It was changed, not physically. Everything was in place, but the feeling, like a copy of my home, made by someone who only saw it in photos. Details didn't match. The bathroom door handle, on the other side. The lamp, turned differently. Even the books on the shelf were out of order. It was my apartment, but like restored from backup, like in electronics. And the more I looked, the more panic strangled me inside. I started searching, opened every drawer, every cabinet, found things I never had, an old Zippo lighter, a photo of a woman I didn't know, a t-shirt with a band I'd never heard of. But the worst was in the bedroom. On the nightstand stood the camera, the same one, black Canon AE-1. It was whole, clean, newer than when I bought it. I froze. Trembling flooded me. I burned it. I saw it burn. I touched it. It was cold, like just taken from a fridge. I slowly opened the compartment. Inside was film, and on the film, my name, written clearly with a black marker. David, copy 2. I sat down on the floor. My hands trembled. One voice spun in my head. This is not your home. This is not you. I couldn't stay. I went to a real, modern hotel with people, cameras, reception. Took only my wallet and phone. But as soon as I left the apartment, I got a message. This new photo. You're sleeping, I didn't open it. Turned off my phone. But even then, I felt a gaze. In the elevator mirror, I saw myself and another figure right behind me. But when I looked back, no one. Part 3. I started searching for the first photo, not from this film, Not from this camera, but the very first shot, the one from which everything began. Someone once pressed the shutter for the first time and opened a crack between us and it. If I could find that photo, maybe I could close it. I went back to the flea market seller. His stall was gone. My search led me to an old photo lab on the city outskirts. Its owner, an old man with a stern gaze, told me that films from those cameras disappeared strangely and several clients later vanished without a trace. I felt more and more confused, but giving up wasn't an option. During my last visit to the lab, I noticed a mirror. Cracks on its surface moved strangely, as if alive. Suddenly, from the shadows, stepped my doppelganger. Exactly like me, but with a cold, unnatural look. He said, "You went too far, David. Now this is our reality." I tried to run, but the doors closed behind me. Mirrors around reflected hundreds of my copies, smiling and cruel. I gathered all my strength and smashed the camera on the table. The film tore, the mirrors cracked, and I felt reality beginning to return. When I left the lab, everything seemed normal, but I was left wondering, who is the real David now? Me or him?